Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2015 Ford Explorer, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Roadmaster battery charge line kit for towed vehicles. So the reason for a charge line kit is really simple. Whenever you're flat towing down the road and every time your braking system operates, it's going to use the Explorer's battery power. So if you tow for a long period of time, the battery can potentially wear down and be dead once you arrive to your destination. That's not going to happen with the charge line kit, because that's going to essentially more or less kind of trickle charge that battery and keep it charged up. That way the braking system don't drain it. So although a really simple component, in my opinion, it's a really important one, because the last thing you want to do after a long trip is disconnect your Explorer and come to find out that the battery is dead. Then you got to go through the trouble of finding some jumper cables, potentially bothering somebody else to give you a hand, find a jump box. It's just a road you don't want to go down. With the charge line, you're not going to have to sweat that. Once you get there, you know your battery's going to be good. You can start up your Explorer, get it disconnected, and maybe even go for a little cruise. So the way the charge line actually works is it's going to receive a 12-volt power source from the back of your motorhome 7-way. And so that power will come up through here into the breaker. It'll go across the pin and bring it up to your positive battery terminal. Now that breaker is going to be there. That way you don't have to worry about any back feeding or anything like that. That breaker is going to prevent any electrical issues or damage. Now, some of our customers have asked if this is going to affect the motorhome's batteries. And that's definitely an understandable question. But the way this is going to work is it's only going to charge the Explorer's battery when your motorhome is running. And whenever the motorhome is running, its alternator is turning, providing its batteries with their own charge. So you're not going to have to worry about the charge line draining your motorhome's batteries or anything like that. So there's going to be a total of 5 major components that you're going to need to flat tow your Explorer down the road. You're going to have the base plate, which just provides us with a solid and reliable connection point. That way we can hook up our tow bar to it. The tow bar is the second main component here. This is actually going to be the physical link that connects to the front of your Explorer to the back of your motorhome. Third main component is going to be your safety cables. Now those are going to be there in the event of a catastrophic disconnect. The safety cables are going to keep everything hooked together. Your fourth main component is going to be your tow bar wiring. So the tow bar wiring is going to transfer the lighting signals from the back of your motorhome to the back of your Explorer, keeping you safe and legal. And the fifth main component is going to be a braking system. So what the braking system is going to do is apply the brakes inside of your Explorer whenever you hit the brakes in your motorhome. So that's going to bring you to a more safe and predictable stop and reduce the wear and tear on your motorhome's braking system. And what's really nice too, to get the charge line installed, it's really straightforward. It's one of the easier components to get installed as far as flat tow setups go, and shouldn't take you a whole lot of time. So to begin our install, what we're first going to need to do is take one end of our red wire and hook it up to the back of our 6-way plug here at the front. So I already just unbolted it from our bracket. What we're going to do is remove the rubber cap. You're going to take the end of your line, put it through your bracket and through that cap. And we'll grab that end and strip back some of the insulation. I like to kind of twist the wires, give us a good connection. Let's set that down for now and move to our 6-way plug. We're going to be working with the terminal here in the center. So we'll loosen up that set screw. Take the bare end of our red wire, push it into the terminal, and snug down that set screw. So now that we have our wires hooked up, I'm going to take some dielectric grease that you can pick up here at eTrailer and just coat the terminals, and that'll help prevent any corrosion or anything like that. I'll get it covered. We can take the rubber cap, push that back in place. Right now, I'll just go ahead and resecure our plug. And then what we can do is take the bundle of red wire and run it up into the engine compartment. And so it's down there, and it just kind of flows over to the driver's side. Red wire there. Just kind of continues behind our bumper beam. And then I took it and just pushed it just up behind our headlight here. And when we push that up behind the headlight, that'll bring it into the engine compartment. So in the engine compartment, here's where our wire comes up, just behind our headlight. And I think I'm going to stop right here because we do have a really good spot to mount up our breaker. I'm going to mount the breaker right here on this piece of plastic. So to do that, I'll put it in place, and I'll grab the included self-tapping screws and secure that down. Now that we have the breaker secured, what you want to do is just remove the nuts that are on the studs. Be careful with these, they're easy to drop, you don't want to lose them. Then we're going to take our wire that's going to our 6-way connector and kind of eyeball the length. Now we're going to hook this up to the gold post here. It's a little tricky to see, but it is labeled in the plastic BAT for battery, so that's the one you want to hook it to. So I think about there is going to be good. We'll cut that wire. Strip back that insulation. And we're going to want to grab one of the smaller terminals and crimp that on. Slide that over that gold stud. Take our nut and we can tighten it down. Now for the other stud, what we're going to do is take that piece of wire that we cut off from that red one just a moment ago, and we're going to strip back the insulation on one end of it. I'm going to take another small ring terminal, crimp that on. And this one is going to go over our silver post, which is labeled AUX for auxiliary. Run that over it and tighten down the nut. The other end of our wire, this is going to run over to the positive battery terminal. So this is pretty straightforward here. We'll just kind of find a good path to take. And that actually gives us about the perfect length as well. So I don't think we'll have to trim anything. But just pop that cover out of the way. And we're going to be hooking it up directly to the battery post, so we want to use this nut here. So we'll strip back the insulation again. And this time we're going to use the larger ring terminal. Slide that over and crimp it down. Now we can remove this nut. It's going to need a 10mm socket. And I'm not sure right off the bat, but sometimes these nuts don't come off completely, at least easily. They're not really designed to. And you'll know that if it kind of gets hung up. So in our case it is. It's kind of wanting to stop, so you don't want to force that. Instead of risking stripping it out or anything like that, what we're going to do is take our large ring terminal and we're just going to cut a opening in it. That way it can fit around that stud there. So we'll kind of slide it underneath the head of the bolt, and then we can tighten the nut back down. So now to close our cap, if you kind of pull the wire back and kind of go along this plug here, you're able to easily close it without it getting pinched, and that's all there is to it. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Roadmaster battery charge line kit for towed vehicles on our 2015 Ford Explorer.